Well, hello again. Here we find ourselves on another Sunday, another fireside chat. Another week has gone by. My hair has gotten even longer, and it's really starting to drive me nuts. And so for all of you who are watching, rest assured that as soon as the barber shops are reopened, that'll be one of my very first stops, and I'll go back to looking like a semi-respectable priest again, I should hope. And it's funny, I don't think that I'm alone in feeling maybe this week a little bit more hopeful about things opening up again, about coming back from this, as we start to hear some of our government officials and government leaders to talk about how it will look when we are able to start coming back from this. And, it feels like we can start to see a little bit of the light at the end of the tunnel. And, we're hopeful. We're hopeful that soon we will be able to go get our hair cut, or we will be able to go, to the places that we used to go. We'll actually go out to eat. We don't have to, take it home or those sorts of things. We don't have to ask ourselves, is this a necessary trip, or, should I not be doing this? And that's good, and I think it's part of, this spring time of the year anyway, that we are filled with a little bit of hope, right? We see the leaves starting to grow on the trees, flowers blossoming in our gardens, all of those sorts of things that remind us of like that hopefulness that we are called to live as Christians. But it's been hard to be hopeful in this time. It's been hard to balance that Christian hope, that virtue that we are called to live with, the difficult reality of the times that we are in. We've all been suffering in different ways. We might be struggling with loneliness, or we might be struggling with anxiety about this disease, or about the economy, or about, whatever it is. We might be worried for loved ones and all of these things. But as I've been reflecting on that, it's not just during this time that some of us struggle with those things, right? It's not just during COVID that people are lonely. It's not just during COVID that people struggle with anxiety, or they worry about their jobs, or if they're going to be able to provide for their families. These are things that we always struggle with, in usually smaller ways, not certainly as pronounced and universal as it feels like it is right now. But people are always struggling. People are always in need of help and assistance. And certainly it's been brought much more to our attention in this time. But it's going to be important for us when we do come back, right? That when that hope that we all have is fulfilled, that we are able to return to our normal lives. We don't just go back 100% to our normal lives. We should allow this to change us. We should allow this to help inform how we view the world, that we are more careful in reaching out and connecting with people, that we are looking for opportunities to help wherever we can. That's going to be the great blessing of when we are able to come back, that we'll be able to choose a new normal when we come back from this. And lastly, I just want to say this morning, that despite, the things that we are suffering right now, despite the difficulties we have endured during this period, it's also very important for us to remember that that's not the whole story, right? And though, COVID and, the daily updates from the governor or the president or whoever else we would like to listen to, it's all about the COVID. It's really important to remember that good things are still happening, right? There's still a lot of joy in the world. One of the things I've mentioned on these before is, just seeing the number of families out and about in the neighborhood is incredible, Like, I had no idea that there were this many families living in this neighborhood, because I simply didn't see them before. Of course, that may be a product of I'm also stuck at home all the time, so when I do see people on walks, I'm able to be here and witness that. But, it's very important for us to maintain that Christian hope, and a big part of that is finding the little joys in our life and truly rejoicing in them, truly being delighted in the little things that the Lord is still providing for us, even in this difficult time. So I hope this week we can all be watchful for these signs that we are coming out of this, and that we may recognize the many little joys in our life. As a final note, I just wanted to let you all know that the diocese is working on a plan that will allow us to hear confessions, okay? Which is going to be a very important part of how we come back to church, right? That we take advantage of the sacrament of confession. And the details are still being worked out, but I'm hopeful, right, that even this week we will be able to put information out about that, and within about 7 or 8 days to begin to hear confessions here. So please stay tuned for that. Please watch the website for that information, and I'll probably post a special Fireside chat just about that. So again, I'm always praying for you all, and stay tuned for more information about how we will be able to come back to a more normal practice of our faith. May God bless you all.